Hello and welcome to another video with Techcanvass. In today's video, we are going to discuss about data modeling and star schema in Power BI. So for that, to make it, is easy, I have a retail data which we are going to use to push this data into in Power BI and create a star schema. So let's understand first what exactly data modeling and star schema is. So data modeling is a concept of processing the data in a structured and organized manner, and is one of the feature to connect to the connect to multiple data sources using relationship. So relationship defines the data source and how they are connecting to each other, so that we can, when we create a reports in Power BI, desktop or using Power BI service, the data is well designed and it gives us the 360-degree view of the information, what exactly the management or the executives want to see. Right. So this technique of data modeling was developed by Mr. Ralph Kimmer, who was, years back actually, and still we are using these concepts. So there are five core, steps in creating data modeling, multi-dimensional data modeling. First is identifying business objectives. So we have to be very, very sure of what exactly we are going to solve with this, data model. Second is the granularity. How detailed information we have in our data is very important to understand. Third is identifying dimension and attributes. So all these data modelings, while we create all that, we get to know all the dimensions and the attributes which we have in our data set. The fourth is the facts. What all transactional data we have in our data set, which we are going to use for data, analysis purpose, is in the steps will come, and identifying the schema. So which schema suits our business requirement, and accordingly we prepare. So in general, there are four types of schemas available. So star schema, snowflake, galaxy schema, and fact translation schema. So currently we'll focus on star schema. Star schema, as the image looks here, you know, it gives you a star kind of an image wherein fact table resides in the center and all the dimension tables are related to each other, right? So in star schema, basically fact table holds the transactional data which we use for measuring purpose, and all the dimension tables which holds the other aspect of seeing that fact will be associated to that, right? So this is what we are going to prepare in Power BI. So let me just quickly switch to Power BI. And before moving to Power BI, I'll just quickly show you what data I have. I have a very basic, simple, data available with me, which is retail data. So let's just quickly check out this Excel file. So I have a calendar date, basically calendar table, which is there in, first sheet, which holds around 3 to 4 years of data, which you can see here, all 4 years of data from 2001 to 2004. Then I have a territory. So since I told you that it's a retail data, so we are selling our products to these are the territory. So I have territory key, region, country, and group. Then I have a customer detail available. So all the customers, the details are coming, and the product. Finally, all the products which we are selling is across multiple categories and subcategories. So product category is this particular product category. We have four categories here, and in the subcategory, is listed out here. And finally, the sales table. Okay, so this sales table holds the entire transactional data along with the key from each of these tables. Okay, I'm just quickly closing this. Let's jump to Power BI and start connecting to this data. So I'm in Power BI now. So we are going to use get data for this. And I'm choosing Excel file, Excel workbook, because our data resides in Excel. So we'll use this, click on open. And now in the navigator window, you can see, the Excel worksheets which are listed here. Okay. Now, if I select calendar, it shows me the preview of the data here in this small window. Now, preview means it generally shows me 100, odd records, which tells me that, okay, this is the kind of data I'm going to load in Power BI. Okay, so without doing transformation, I'm simply loading this table into Power BI by just clicking on the load table, load button. Okay, so it process and shares and load the data, and you can see the data comes here. I believe I by default or by mistake clicked on twice, and it just generated a two views. So let me just delete one from the model, so we should not be, you know, confused. So I have loaded the calendar table. Now let me again go back to the same, do the same process. Get data, select the Excel file, open it. Now choosing instead of choosing calendar table, now I'm going to choose customer table. So here it again shows me the preview. Now it is up to you whether you want to simply load this or you can go via transform data. Okay. Now load means simply loading the data. It is one of the feature in ETL, extract, transform and load. So here we are extracting the data from the Excel file and directly loading it without transformation. But if you click on transform data, it will allow you to transform this data, clean it, sanitize it before you load it finally, right? So this time let's look at how we can click on, how it works on when we click on the transform data. So I'm going to click on transform data now. So once we click transform data, it opens up a Power Query editor window, if you can see here, right? So this is not my main file. Actually, the main file resides at the back, which is this one, which holds the calendar table, which we just loaded. But in this Power Query editor window, you can see I have calendar and customer, two queries, which is loaded. And here is my customer table. This is how it looks like. Okay. Now to simply load it, we are not going to cover the transformation part in this video, but I'm just, we'll cover it later in the other sections. But for the time being, we are simply loading it. So to commit it, we are going to use close and apply under file menu, close and apply, and click on close and apply. So what it does, it loads the calendar table. Now to view the data which we have loaded so far, the two tables, calendar and customer, we can go to table view individually. So this is the calendar table, how the date looks like, and the customer table. So you can see 18,484 records are listed here. And in the model view is where the tabular, the graphical representation, the star looks comes here. Okay. For the time being, we have loaded the two tables, but which are not linked to each other. Okay. So let's load another table. I'm going to click on get data once again, Excel workbook, choose the file, open it. Now I'm going to choose sales in this. Okay. So we need to check this boxes against each worksheet. Okay. There is an option that we can select multiple, worksheets as well. Okay. Or we can, select individual as well. So I am going to go with individual, selections for the timing because we will be covering some of the concepts which are hidden, okay, while creating this data model. So far we have loaded two tables which doesn't have any relationship, but now let's relate and let's load the sales table. So I'm simply going to load this. I'm not going to transform. Now, all three queries are loaded here, if you can see. And let's go and check model view. Here, if you can see, now the moment we have loaded sales table, there is a relationship established automatically between customer table and the sales table. Okay. Now, how to identify that, which helps us, how these relationship established between these two is hover your cursor on this relationship row, and which tells you that, customer key in customer table and customer key in sales table are common. Okay. So here Power BI has auto detected this relationship between these two tables using customer key in both the tables, which is a common key. Okay. Now, there is one thing which you need to notice here is that customer key, the auto detection happens based on a commonality in the in both the tables. One, that means one particular field has to be common. It has to have a same spelling and the case. Okay, so all three things has to be same. If it matches, Power BI automatically detect that relationship and creates it. So you can see here the customer table holds unique values for each customer. Hence, it is representing one here. And the sales table represents star here, which means that there could be multiple entries for a particular customer exist in sales table. Means one customer might have purchased one or more time from our side. Hence, star is depicted, means one to many relationship has automatically gets detected. To get more details about this relationship, right click on the line and click on properties. And you can see that the from table is sales, the selected field is customer key, to table is customer, and the selected key is customer key, and the cardinality is many to one here. Okay. So there are four types of cardinalities exist. Many to one to many, and many to many. Many to one is nothing but the from table holds multiple entries compared to table, which is the customer table, which is the dimension table basically. So dimension table always holds the unique key based on the primary key concept. So primary key is nothing but it should be unique, and it should have always a value in it. Okay, it should not be null, right? Or I should say it cannot be null. Okay. So hence it is many to one. The opposite to it is one to many. It is nothing but it's the same thing. One to many to one is nothing but the same thing. It's just it is just vice versa of it. Okay. Now one to one is nothing but both the tables have a unique values. Hence it is one to one. And the opposite to it is many to many, which is both the tables hold non-unique values, which is a secondary key, means both the table holds fact data. Okay. That is where this many to many, since the, it gives you a situation of a dilemma that is called as Cartesian product. So hence Power BI does not allow us to, create a many to many relationship. It gives us a warning always. Okay. So to deal with many to many relationship, we need to introduce a link table concept. Okay, that will cover later part. So for the time being, I'm just clicking on save here. Okay, so now this table, this relationship has established between customer and sales. But why it is not established between calendar and sales? We do have date field available, and here in sales as well, we do have a date field. But why this relationship is not established? We need to figure it out. Okay. So do we have any date field which is called as order date? Now in calendar table, we do have a date field, but which is not called as order date. Okay. Hence the relationship hasn't established automatically because the naming conventions are different. But there is an easy way to create a relationship. What we can do is we can simply click on the date table from calendar table and drag and drop it on top of order date. Okay. Uh, New relationship window will open up here, which will say that from table is calendar table, date field, to table is sales table, order date, and the cardinality automatically gets selected as one to many, and cross direction filter is saying single. So by default, all these values will auto detect by Power BI. We just need to click on save here, and a relationship gets established. If you see now, it our star schema is started to come into shape. Now let's load more tables into this data, this file. Now again, I'm clicking on get data, select the file, and this time I'm choosing product table. Okay, here we do have all this preview. Okay, and I'm simply clicking on load now. Okay, so that the product table, the data gets loaded, 397 rows, 45 error. Why the error comes up? We'll check quickly. By default, this is just a warning signal. It is not stopping Power BI to load this data. So hence the data is already loaded, but the warning signal is coming. I just wanted to let you know how we can establish a warning. So let's click on view error once. It will take us to again the Power Query Editor window. Here you can see error in product. Now, if you start scrolling towards right side, you can see the green line under the field. Everywhere the green line comes, that means everything is fine. Okay. It is because of this particular field called size. Here the error comes. Okay. I guess it is because of this textual information. So let's quickly see. ABC, let's change it to, let's say, text or general. I would say let's click it on text. Okay, I'm just going to, okay, I believe it is basically holds both the values. So let me just switch to text once again. Okay, and I'll say close and apply. If you can see here, the data is loaded here, and we have this one to many relationship created here as well automatically. And if we hover our cursor here, you can see it is based on the product key. Okay. So with the product key again, the field gets created. And now we are going to load another table, which is, let's look at what we have left with. Okay. So let's load territory table. Okay, and here I'm again choosing the territory table and clicking on load. Okay, now in this case, the territory table gets loaded. If you can see here, so territory table gets loaded, but somehow the relationship with sales table hasn't happened. Okay, hasn't established. So we need to understand why is that, because the structure looks like clean here for this territory table, and we do have country, group, region, territory key. Let's look at what do we have in sales table. Do we have a territory field here? Okay, we do have a territory key field here, but if you see here, we are calling it as sales territory key. Hence, the naming convention is different compared to territory key. So that's the reason why auto detection of the relationship doesn't happen automatically. Okay. Now instead of we ourselves can do that by dragging and dropping, and the other way is to click on manage relationship window at the top. So I'm just clicking on manage relationship here. Now here, our manage relationship window gets just opened up. Here we have an option to auto detect and create a new relationship. So now I'm creating a new relationship from scratch. So click on new relationship. The same new relationship window will open up wherein I'm selecting from table is the territory, and I'm choosing the territory key. To table is sales, and here I need to select sales territory key field, and the cardinality gets established, automatically detected as one to many, cross direction filter one, a single, and make relationship this as active. Now, if you uncheck this, it will still create the relationship, but it will be inactive, hence dotted line will come. Okay, so this mark is very, very important to make this relationship as active. Okay, so I'm just clicking on save. And hence the fourth relationship also gets established. I'm clicking on close here. Now, if you can see here, we have this star kind of a schema look created. If I place these tables properly, all right. Now this gives us a star kind of a look. Hence, we have created a star schema. Okay. Now, once the schema is established, we are all set to start creating a visual elements. Okay, so we'll come to report view, and I'm taking a bar chart here wherein I wanted to see total sales and with the help of product categories. So categories, I am taking it from the product table, and sales amount, I am taking it from the sales table. And you can see the table, the graph is created. Okay. And if you want, I can add some data labels to it. Let me slightly the make it a little bigger. This is for x-axis, same for y-axis. Now y-axis is also coming up. And for data labels, quickly under values, let's change it to 14. Comma, make it dark. You can see currently the value is coming in millions. If you want, you can change the display unit to none, which is exact, and zero decimal place. So this is exact, or maybe change it to thousands, or you know, billions or millions or whatever. Let me change it to million. Okay, with one decimal place. All right, so this gives me the information here, and I can give it a title. So title is on. Okay, this is related to data label. Let me go to general title. So I'll give it sales across product categories. I'll change the text color. Text background to dark color, put in center. Okay, so just adding the border as well. So this gets created here. Now, if I want, I'll um, create a maybe a donut chart, or donut chart would be okay. Let's take a donut chart now, and I'll create a territory wise, region wise. Region would be too much, too many, I guess. Country wise, again, sales. Yeah, this my sales. No, yeah. So you can see the distribution quickly. So the once the data model is established, you are all set to create your visualization using multiple tables, which will give you a complete and a clear and concise information. Okay. Hope this video, you'll understand this concept of star schema, how to build it, and on top of that, how you can start creating visualization. So with this, I'll take a pause, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.
This video is brought to you by Techcanvass. Your success is our passion.